Yeah, well, today, as you saw in the title, I'm going to be showing you guys, a few things that you probably don't know how they work, or you're probably wondering how they work. And I'm just going to give you, you could probably go on Google and look it up, but I'm just giving you a video explanation, I'm sorry, um, because some people, they like to watch things and not read things or hear things. So, onto the video. So, the first thing you probably don't know how it works is a camera. So, real quick, I'm just going to take this over to my little spot over here. Hold on. It is very messy. Well, anyway, so what basically is happening here is that this is the lens, as you know. If you know what a camera is, then you know what a lens is. The lens is basically just a piece of glass that's basically like this, so it magnifies whatever you're doing. So things won't show up blurry and they'll show up a lot sharper. This is just basically a big color reflector. It's reflecting the colors, and it's basically sensing how much a light is coming in and how much it is just be like, because you know how basically the most in the spectrum is pink or violet, because violet goes the farthest, and if it's bright then it senses, okay, it's violet, and it'll show up with violet on the screen. If it's red, which is I think, or red, which is about the lowest, I believe, something like that, is it would sense it as red, because if you look, it's actually kind of reflecting everything on my light. Tell that it's really bright, and it's reflecting that. So, and then really all it's doing is just it's magnifying that big sensor into one little space, so it's a lot sharper. So that's a quick explanation on how the camera works. Actually, real quick, I'm just gonna give you. Some people might not know this. How a LED or a light works. Basically, it's really quick. Basically, it's just getting sent power, and it's getting sent power, and it's basically heating up. And the reason why how other colors work is, if you didn't know, that the longest one is actually red, because this is red. It has four colors. Here, focus please, camera. Well, kind of see it. There we go. There we go. So that one right there. That one is red, because red takes the most power. How much power, because usually if you put 5 volts into like the color that takes the least amount of power to explode. I've had that happen. I'm not kidding. So that's how light works, if you're wondering that. One other thing. How a touchscreen works. I don't really have a touchscreen because I'm recording with my phone. I need a camera. But how a touchscreen works is basically it senses when your finger's touching by this. I'm going to talk about this more later on. There's basically a piece of metal under it. There's a piece of metal everywhere under it, and then when that piece of metal is touched by your finger, that's why if you like touch something random, like a piece of foam to it, it wouldn't do anything, because that foam has really, like, it's not a conductor, and your finger is a conductor, and that's, yeah, and the reason why is what you're probably thinking then. Why couldn't you just use a battery? Yes, you actually could use a battery as your phone, and that's why, like, if you have an Apple Pen, that's why it takes time to charge, because it takes time to charge because it's basically getting up energy, and that energy is going out on to it, and that's basically basically like a little bolt of electricity. And when that bolt touches, it's like, okay, I'm getting touched. And then, yeah. That's actually exactly how trackpads work. So, 2 in 1, boom. This might actually be surprising. How motors work. Here, actually, I'm gonna get a different motor because that one you can't see. So what motors are? They're basically, you know what a motor is if you actually live. A motor is basically what's inside a motor. It's kind of hard. Let me see if I can show you. But basically, what it is there's just 2 magnets on right here and here. And then there's 2 magnets when the copper, and there's a roll of copper wire. And then when that copper wire gets powered, the magnets want to go to it, and but it really can't. And the other one does it too. So then it starts spinning around because there's different forces, and it creates that rotation. That's why if you've seen people use magnets to like throw things forward, that's kind of how it works. If you can see in those 2 holes. Yeah, you can kind of see the glare and the brown glare of copper wire in there. Oh yeah, there you go. There you go. So that's basically how motors work. And then you're probably thinking, so the 2 sides are powered. If you're thinking that, and someone might be like, if you haven't watched my introduction to Arduino video, which will be right up there, you should go watch that because it explains a lot about electronics, and it's definitely a good video. So, or if you want to, it's actually really cool. It's probably it was actually my first video. And basically it's not powering 2 things, it's actually powering, so this is going up and then that's going back out. And the reason why, hold up, if I want to give an example on this. If I just took these 2 things, I mean, it doesn't matter, they're the same, pretty much almost the same amount of voltage. If I took this red wire, hold on. Okay, I have some female extension wires. Put those on. So watch this. Because normally it would just be going in and out and creating a loop. That's why some people, that's why if one like goes out on the Christmas tree, they all go out. It's because it used to be like that. Because they all is one circuit. So it's going this way. It's still rotating, but when one goes out, well, it can't go back. So then those ones they stop powering, because basically it's just refreshing. If you ever look at a screen in slow-mo, or like his screen, I can show you a video of that sometime, or I'll post it. And it won't keep rotating that power through, so then it just turns off everything because it can't refresh, and it's not visible to the eye. Because it's going so fast. That's why there's something called hertz, refresh rate. That's how fast the screen is refreshing. And that's basically how fast the electricity is going through. So, real quick, if I just touch these wires together, or not wires together, see how this red or this black wire is going to attach to the red wire. This white wire is going to the black wire. Watch. Nothing happens. But look. You can faintly hear it because it's going out and out and out and out and out. So that's basically how that works. How resistors work. Resistors are actually inside there. It's basically just a bunch of little coiled up metal going woo, and depending on how high it is, it can be the lower the looser it is. So no, the higher the tighter it is, and the lower the looser it is. So it's basically, that's how it resists things from getting so much power. Yeah. Also, one other thing. This is the walkie-talkie, how I thought I took apart. Go watch that video. I'll leave it in the description. Go check that out. Now, actually, I will leave the others in the description. So, basically, Alright, so another thing is, people wonder how things basically that are wireless work, or a walkie-talkie, because a walkie-talkie, as you know, has over miles and miles of working distance. So basically, the reason why it has this, I mean, it's just to be you could cut it and it would just not go as far. It's basically each one has it's sending electricity through the air by just working, you could say, and then it's hitting this copper wire, and that's sending. If you it would go up, and then it would sense it, and however loud you're screaming, it's gonna be like, okay, you had this amount of pitch. Also, another thing, microphones. How do microphones work? Microphones, basically how microphones work is they sense how much sound is by. They basically have little coils of wire in them, and they sense how much vibration is in it. So, and then it's just like if you're screaming, as you would think, it has a lot of rotation. It's gonna vibration. It's gonna vibrate a lot, and then we'll know that that's happening. Also, I'm sure you're wondering, how do speakers work? You know how things make sound when they turn on? Like if something, it's gonna make a buzz. If something touches and it sparks, that's basically what's just happening in something called a buzzer. There's a bunch of buzzers in a speaker, or one big buzzer, as you could say. And I have no idea why I'm playing with the buzzers. So basically, it has a bunch of buzzers, and those buzzers is just sending a bunch of power, and it's going, and it's creating a really loud screechy noise, and then how much power is how loud it is. And then basically, if you know what, it's basically there's points of sound. It's not, the badder the speaker is, the more grainy it's gonna be, and that's why it's like that. And so what happens is basically it senses how much that microphone, and then it basically is sending out higher and higher pitch is by, and if you want, and you would record something into it, and it would just send those pitches again, because it has a very small amount. It's going to be able to copy that. It's going to, because if you open like voice memos or something, you're going to be able to see all those lines, and how, like, when you're screaming, it goes higher, and then when you don't say anything, it's just like nothing. Another thing, voice, this is going to be a quick one. It's going to be the last one, too. Voice changers. How do voice changers work? Voice changers are basically just, you say something, and then they take the whatever you want to voice change it into. If you want to make it lower, then you do something. If you want to turn it into someone's voice, like let's say I wanted to turn it into Mickey Mouse's voice, which is pretty high, you would take that and then you take Mickey Mouse's voice, and you take the person's voice, and you'd find the difference between them, between how high the pitch is, and then you take that pitch and just code it to add to when it's recording, to add that much pitch to it. So then it makes it sound whatever like you want it to. Well, Okay. Well, anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Leave a like, comment. What should I do next? I hope you like my stuff. Also, remember to go down below in the description to see all my other videos. I think you'll like them if you're new to like Arduino or electrical, or if you just want to learn. So I will see you guys maybe tomorrow, maybe today. Hold on. That didn't work. I'm gonna try this one. Maybe tomorrow, maybe today.